use a little bit of nature here. It's a Patreon video waiting to happen. We got to get this shot. Such an important shot. We're trying to use nature here. Damn it, it keeps breaking. Oh man. All right, we got somewhat of a knot now, nature boy style. That's a terrible knot. Terrible knot. All right, I think that's a shot for you guys. Cats Meow, Cheech, Marin.
Get off my hand!
Tomatoes!
Okay, and go.
Wolf Tick Nation, thank you for tuning in to once again another Wolf Tick Videos episode. And guys, on today's episode, we got a little Project Cheech Marin back at it once again. Now, it's been a minute since you guys got to see this ride, and the last time we worked on it, we did the F.S.A. tapered head tube adapter, because remember, this head tube is not tapered. So not only do we have the Suntour Radon 34mm stanchion fork up front, but we've also got the TransX lever dropper. Yes, a little bit of lever action. We're going to be doing a real-time review from the front and the back of this bike, and just seeing how it rides. I mean, we haven't ridden this thing since. You know, we just did a few upgrades on it, and we left it be. So Cats Meow.
You got busy. You got busy with stuff.
Man. So Cats Meow, here we come again. Please like, please subscribe, and guys, let's get after it.
Where are you looking? Where are you looking?
You don't know. Nobody knows.
Where are you looking?
Nobody knows. All right, guys, here we are with the Marin. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave this seat post drop down, and I kind of want to play with it here in the parking lot. And let's just kind of see if it's going to be difficult at all to kind of put up or put down. Now, it's a little strange because I'm having to pull my hands off of the bars. Now, most of the time with most droppers, of course, you're going to have a remote. But we got a remote to this fork, right, the Suntour. We'll be talking about that later. So I automatically want to hit this remote up here thinking it's going to bring my dropper up. But I got to reach down. Now, if I'm having to pedal and I go to grab it, it's a little strange. A little strange to grab that. All right, hopefully the camera angle just worked for you guys enough. A little weird, but we'll see how it is on the trail, especially if I see something ahead of me, then go ahead and reach down and do it. Might be a little more comfortable, but all right, I have to drop it down a little bit lower, actually. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and hit the Cats Meow, everybody's favorite test track. And we're also going to do a little real-time review on the way up there. All right, here we go. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do with the Suntour Radon fork is I'm gonna use the remote. We're gonna lock that sucker out. That's a nice little feature to have. Okay, now I'm gonna bring the seat up a little bit. There we go. All right, so really the dropper post, it's not bad at all. I mean, I think it's just take a little bit of getting used to, especially when you're riding a bike that has a lever on it as far as your remote's concerned for your fork. Definitely it takes some getting used to because I'm going to be unlocking and locking that fork a lot. But reaching down for the lever is not too bad, especially when you see something ahead, just like shifting. You guys have to remember, we're probably going to be doing some more upgrades to this bike. And there are some downsides to it. We talked about that on the initial impressions and on the real-time review. This bike is still very, very stock, other than the fork and the dropper. I mean, the headset. I mean, it's pretty amazing. This thing feels so tight. And we'll see how the fork does going down the Cats Meow. But this bike is so comfortable. And it's a 29er with a medium frame. We've even got the stock tires on this thing still. We have 120mm travel up front. And it's so comfortable. It really has raised the front of the bike up a little bit. I think the fork, the Suntour that was on here previously, was a 100mm travel coil fork. Now this one's air, the front end's a lot lighter. And we did do the real-time review of this fork on the Axum DP, and we even scored it. So if you guys missed it, make sure you go back and watch it. Old big brother Kevin H, thanks so much for sending it to us. But stuck it on this bike because old big brother Kevin H sent us the damn headset adapter that fit a 44 to a tapered for a straight steer. So that's just awesome. Is the reason we put this on the bike. And some people were thinking, well, you're going to have way too much slack on that front end. And guys, I can say, this being a 29er medium, it's not too slacked out at all. It's quite comfortable, as a matter of fact. You're kind of more of an upright position, kind of like this bike should be, it being like a cross-country style. I don't feel way over the bars, and I don't feel as spread out as I thought I would. And it definitely doesn't have that skyscraper quality to it that a lot of 29er bikes, for me, I'm 5'5", doesn't have that feel like a lot of those ones do, where I'm on top of the bike and not necessarily sitting in it. But the cockpit is quite comfortable with this bike. Between picking these cameras up, something that's definitely going to take some getting used to is this. I always leave it up when I get off the bike, and I have to really lean the bike over. I have to get off on that side, when I have to remember I could just drop it down and get on it as easily as I'm getting off of it. And see, again, I went to automatically reach with a thumb. I got to remember it's between the legs. All right, but it's just going to take some getting used to. Not the end of the world. Now, one thing I remember on the initial impressions was I was like, you know what? It feels a little funky, like there's some stiction there. There definitely is some stiction. And it's difficult because it's not like you can put the seat down when you're standing on the pedals. Does that make sense? I can't stand up and put the seat down because it requires too much force, so I have to use body weight. The problem with that is, unless I sit on it to get it all the way down, that's when the stiction starts to kind of come into play. So it is difficult to just put it down because it feels like it's grabbing the entire time. So I think the paint on that stanchion is going to get worn down pretty quick. I really do. Going up's not a problem because I could just stand on the pedals and bam, we're all the way up. But when it comes time to go down, it does grip a little bit. So big sister Brandy, if you haven't got this on your gravel bike yet, make sure you listen to this and don't fast forward, okay? But it is decently fast when it's going up. And as I said earlier, we're going to do some climbing now. Should lock this front fork up. We are going to be getting some shots of that fork up there for you guys during the descent on the Cats Meow. But I do want to talk about it just a little bit more. Sometimes with a bike, if you add slack to it, now follow me on this, and you go to steer, it almost feels like the fork is, or the tire, the whole angle of the front of the bike is almost stuck somewhere, like you're riding a big chopper, okay? And with this bike, I thought I was going to feel that because you definitely can feel the amount of slack that it's added. And we've talked about that a little bit. But the bike does not get stuck in a certain direction like you think it would, or I was thinking it was going to. It's like, man, we added 20 more millimeters. And I think that's the rule of thumb on what you should do, is 20 in the positive or 20 in the negative if you're going to change forks, if you're not going straight across. But it doesn't feel like a chopper. We were talking about it a little earlier, you know, it actually feels like I'm sitting in this bike as opposed to just on top of it. And that's a really big thing, you know, for riders. You want to be comfortable on your bike, but you also really want to make sure you feel like you're a part of the bike. And grips and pedals, everything factors in on that, you know. But this is actually a really good smooth riding bike. And that fork, man, is going to make a world of difference. But guys, we are almost to the Cats Meow. All right, guys, here we go. We're at the Cats Meow, everybody's favorite test track. This is what we are going to do. I'm going to drop this seat post, okay? Standing room only. It's official. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to get a tripod, and I'm going to set it up down by the jump, okay? So I'm going to shred on this trail. I'm going to get to the jump, and then the tabletop right after the tire test area. And I'm going to set a camera up for you guys because I want to get a third-person shot. Unfortunately, there's nobody out here to follow me with a camera. So, we are going to set a camera up there for you guys. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to do a little different. I'm going to set the camera up there so we can get some air and kind of play with it a little bit, okay? All right, let's do this. Cats Meow. See how it treats us today. Okay, I'm going to gear up a little bit so I can get some speed going down this puppy. We might get some chain slap. All right, fork is unlocked. Yeah, this is the Cats Meow, the way up to the Cats Meow. It's the sidecar. All right. Hopefully that camera's good for you guys. Here we go. Suntour radon. Oh yeah. Don't let anybody tell you different. You can totally feel the difference with a 34mm stanchion, a 30, a 32. Yeah, it just takes a lot more to bomb it out. It's a lot squishier too. Some pumps here. That thing is butter right now up front. Maybe we'll actually row this thing right at 35 PSI on the tires, and they're not wanting to stick that great right now. We'll get a little bit of air with this bike. The seat post has dropped down, but it's still a little high for my taste. Got little pumps here. Nice. Good flow. And we got some tabletops. 1, 2, and we got Mr. Big. Woo-hoo-hoo! 3. All right, nice and smooth. Forks did a great job of absorbing everything. Got the spot between the trees. Then we got our tire test area. Seat post up. A little bit of stiction even right now going up. Spot between the trees. Tire test area. I'm gonna get a shot for you guys down there. Dropper's going back down. A little weird. Between the trees. Oh, definitely some chain slap. That fork is doing pretty well. I hope this thing doesn't wash out on me on the tire test area. Actually row it. A little bit. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back up and we're gonna get a shot for you guys. Good air there. That fork's doing well. Forgot what it rated. You guys might want to let me know in the comments if you watched it. All right, this bike handles so well. I'm very impressed with it, but now comes time. Tire test area, very sketchy over there. Now we got our big tabletop here, okay? Now again, I know it doesn't look that big on camera, but I can assure you. Now Ferdinand from Nevada, I think he's in Arkansas now. If you're watching this, big ol' shout out to you, man. I just met a dude down the parking lot. Big fan of the channel. He's stalking me. His name's Ferdinand. So shout out to Ferdinand. We're just talking about the GoPro effect. Now, where do you guys want this camera? Ooh, there's a little limb right here. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. We'll do this. All right. I just might hit it a few times. Seat post down. I think we're clear up here. Don't ever go up the wrong way on the trail. Seat post up. Ugh, it's difficult. All right. Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna move this little limb here. Get out of here, limb. Well, I don't know what that was all about. Oh man, technical rider. Seat post down. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get some air for the Wolf Tick Nation. Fork is supple, man. Oh, 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 that was good. What'd you guys think? There she is. What'd you guys think about that? I thought it was good. I thought it was level. Something that really surprises me with this bike, little changes. Now some of you guys are laughing going, dude, you got a Suntour radon 34mm stanchions, 120mm travel, through axle. You're saying little changes, right? But just say I had an air fork up there, just a normal air fork, regular 9mm quick release, nothing extra. What's nice is it's so light on the front end now. This rear, we still got the 3 chain rings back there. It's what, 3x7, the Altus. The problem is that rear end is so heavy. So me being able to actually balance the bike now in the air is a big deal. Because other than the fork and the dropper, this bike is still stock. So it's really nice to have this radon up front and it just to be able to kick in. And I'm sure we're using all of that, all the travel, but is that not a good looking fork? Such a good combo for this bike. I mean, that is the pista de la raison think it's how you say that. I don't know. I'm not French. I know a French guy though. Still got the reflector on this thing, but I mean, wow. See, whenever I got a good little berm switchback like that, yes, these tires do good because that fork, you know, air forks are so freaking nice. They just don't push you off the trail as much as they just help you through it, you know. It's just really nice. All right, got a little rock garden here. Okay, oh, and now, you know what's funny is I forget how the hell to work a 3-chainring bike. I think the biggest gear is the easiest to climb. I don't know. Smallest, easiest to climb. Yep, I'm in love with this Marin. Old Cheech, man. Got so much love on the channel when we first got it. One of our patrons, secret patrons, sent this to us, said enjoy it, and we're enjoying it with the help of old big brother Kevin H with the fork up front and the wheel, and big sister Brande with the dropper. I mean, this bike is perfect for this, as the way it is right now. Perfect, man. All right, guys, well, there you have it. That was the real-time review with the Marin Bolinas Ridge 2, Old Cheech, in all of its glory. It's kind of, it's bittersweet, is what I want to say, all right? And the reason why is because, like, this channel, I love it because we take a lot of just stock bikes and we get to upgrade these things and test different parts, you know, and get to swap them and put them on different bikes and things. And this bike here is such a good rider. This bike is just an amazing cruise on bike. You know, it's perfect for trails like that. You want to go something and kind of step it up a little bit and go down to Cats Meow. The bike is great for it. This thing is such a good rider. I kind of don't want to start upgrading it because it's just, it's okay the way it is, you know? Not every bike has to be...
Yeah, what's wrong with just leaving it like it is?
Because it needs pedals. It could use a better group set because there's a lot of chain slap back there. I mean, and it could use tires, so it does need some upgrades, you know? But this channel, testing stuff out, I'm really looking forward to. Next time we test, we need to do a group set or a brake review at the same time, or an install. This bike will be perfect for it because, again, it does need a new group set. When we do a 1x install, this bike could really use a 1x. It could use tires, but it doesn't have to have that stuff, and that's why it's bittersweet, is because it's kind of just fine the way it is, you know? It really is. It's just overall a really good rider's bike, and I'm really in love with this bike, man. Now let's talk about the dropper post. That's something... It's kind of hard because old Big Sister Brande says, hey, I want you to do an honest review on it. And Big Sister Brande, I'm not crazy about it, okay? I'm just not crazy about it.
Well, I'm going to have some things to say about it.
Well, look, I love dropper post. This right here, you know, it gets a little sticky when you're going to put it down. And it's not like you can just drop a lever and it goes down automatically, because you have to have your body weight on there. And sometimes your body gets in the way of putting this thing down. And whenever you're doing that, you get some stiction here in the stanchion. But something that is nice with this dropper, and we'll put one in Felt Link so we can find one, it is a 27.2, and that's getting a little harder and harder to find. So, all right, guys, well, I think that's kind of the Bolinas Ridge 2 in a nutshell. Guys, do you have a bike that you have that's like this? It's to that point where you want to upgrade, but then you really don't because it's perfect for what it is. Let us know in the comments. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Guys, if you want to help support us coming out and filming and doing stuff like this, second greatest father-son team on the channel, please, on the YouTube, please look at buying us a cup of coffee. And if you're like, man, I want to support them even further, go check out our Patreon.
But only if they can handle it. The cups of coffee are for people that they just want to support us. They don't want the extra content, and they don't want to listen to us swear and gripe and all that stuff.
Yeah. Go check out our Patreon. Become a patron. We'll show you a little bit of love over there. But, all right, guys, until next time, we will see you on the next one.